man.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Morgan, or Blame Steroids, whatever tickles your fancy. And today I wanted to talk to y'all about change. I don't know why I've been thinking about this lately. Maybe it's because of this whole moving thing that's kind of bothering me. But today I wanted to talk to y'all about why people don't change, why they do change, and why sometimes it's better to change for someone else than it is to stay yourself, you know. But before we do that, before we get into that, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this supply drop before we start this game. So let's see. Gay.
Elite.
Son of a bitch. I want elite, but I don't want clothes. Okay, it's fucking stupid. And it looks like we're gonna get some random map. I wonder what it's gonna be. We're playing some. Okay, alright, kid. I can do it with that. We're gonna be playing some one shot on comeback. But really, what I want to talk about is changing. A whole lot of stuff is changing. Not just me and my channel or anything like that, but more or less me as a person. A lot of people, you know, don't change. They don't want to change because changing, you know, they wouldn't be them anymore if they changed. And to me, that's not true. That, you know, you can be yourself, but don't be yourself to a point that it makes others, you know, angry or, you know, annoyed. You can be yourself. I'm not saying don't be yourself, but don't be unwilling to change because I gotta be me or something, you know? A lot of people make that an excuse. I gotta be me, okay? I'm not gonna change because that's who I am. Well, who you are is an asshole or annoying, or you just don't need to. You don't need to intentionally be yourself because that's your only excuse to be the way you are. You don't need to be that way. You want to be that way. And the best example I have is probably my older brother. And he's not a bad person by any means. I love him to death. And I would never change him for anyone else. But he can get a bit annoying, and I am dying. Like, I've died 3 times, no kills. Okay, I gotta change that real quick. But, you know, there's no reason to intentionally do stuff because, you know, that's just who you are. You can change who you are, and the only person who controls you is you. And people don't understand that anymore. They think that, you know, as a human being, you do what you want, and there's no consequences because, you know, you are just being you. And I remember my brother a long time ago, in school and stuff, he was not the best student, and I'm not talking like he wasn't smart or anything. He acted out in school to get attention, and a lot of people do that. It's not a good way to get attention, but it's some people, that's the only way they know how to get attention. Oh, I could have gotten a clip. I'm awful. I'm gonna try and hit a clip before this is over. Who knows? But another thing that kind of caught me. I gotta kill him. He went to Job Corps. My brother's 23, by the way. He went to Job Corps a while back. I think about a year after high school, he went to Job Corps. And Job Corps is a place where it's kind of like college, where basically you take classes, you get paid, but it's a place where you can learn trades like welding, cooking, stuff like that. Well, he was going for cooking, and he had this class of people, and it was kind of, I wouldn't say it was exactly like the military, but he got in a room with other people, and he had to keep his room clean. He had to do all that kind of stuff to be able to have activities and stuff. Well, he had a room with 3 other guys, and we live in Texas, okay, and football is a big deal to us, you know. And when you like a team, you like a team. That's just who you are, and no one can change you for that. And which is another thing, you know, which I'll explain afterwards. But what he did was a little unnecessary. They were being I guess you could say they were being rude. But they were really just, you know, they were trying to be mean to him, and he wasn't going to stand for it. And I get he was sticking to his guns, but it caused him a lot of pain. And let me explain what happened. Basically, a long time ago, he was staying in this room with 4 other guys, and they wanted him to sign a waiver, basically, or some kind of paper saying he could not stand Texas Longhorns. Okay, but the problem was he was a Texas Longhorns fan. We live in Texas. UT is kind of the big deal to us, you know. And I personally am not a fan of UT. I'm actually a big fan of OSU, but that's just what I'm saying. He was a huge fan of Texas, and he couldn't stand that they were trying to do something to him. So instead, he refused, and all he had to do was sign this paper. They weren't gonna do anything to him. They weren't gonna force him to. They were just, you know, egging him on, teasing him about Texas or whatever. And he refused and refused, and he got to a point that he got, you know, angry and started cussing, and well, basically, he ended up getting jumped by these 3 guys. And, you know, these are all adults. These are adults, and kids on one hand may think it's stupid, and it is. It is to a very, very particular degree. It is stupid to argue about something like that. Oh, lag. But that's what was happening, okay? And adults shouldn't act like this, but not everyone's there all the time, you know. Not everyone can be perfect, and things happen. And, well, he ended up getting jumped, and he called the police, and all of this stuff happened, and all he was there to do was learn. It was basically school for him. And he didn't have to do anything. All he had to do was learn. And what ended up happening, we're going to go ahead and play 2 games, by the way. What ended up happening is he got jumped, and he called the cops, and this whole ordeal happened, and he ended up getting kicked out of Job Corps because this big ordeal about him not signing a piece of paper. Okay, it's not just, all he had to do was to get him off his back was just to sign this paper, but he wouldn't do it. It was against who he was. He wasn't going to do that. That's not who he is as a person. And I'm not saying he has to, you know, give up liking this team or anything like that. He just has to sign this paper. But he wouldn't. He refused, and this all happened to him as a consequence because he wouldn't change who he was. And I'm not saying you need to change who you are, but there is a very fine line between being who you are and being overzealous with who you are. And that's what this turned into. It turned into an ordeal that didn't need to happen because he wouldn't do a specific thing, because that's not how he is as a person. A lot of people would put that as a reason, or you know, I beat him up, or I took advantage of him because that's who I am as a person. That's not a good excuse. That's not a reason. That's it's your get out of jail free card, kind of. And it's kind of like, it's a bad way to explain it, but it's kind of like I'm drunk, you know. I slept with you last night because I was drunk, or that's like a get out of jail free card. You don't want something like that. And refusing to change is not a good excuse. It's not any reason not to do something. Okay? All of this stuff happened, and all of it just, it grinds me. It grinds my gears, so to speak, that a person wouldn't do something or cause something to happen because they were unwilling to change their personality. And I'm not saying this has no physical aspect. I'm not talking about your body. If you're teased because you're a body and you can't, like, if you're too big or too small and you're teased for it, you don't. That's not changing. That's not what I'm saying. You don't need to change that. You don't. You as a person, your personality defines you. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But there's no reason that you have to be overzealous about yourself. And that's what he was doing. He was being too much like him. And, you know, like a kid getting beat up in school because, you know, he's dyslexic or too big to play or too fat to be able to run trackers. People people get teased all the time, and not changing causes that. You know, you don't have to conform to everyone, and a lot of people would disagree with that. A lot of people would say, you know, kind of like Russia or China being a communist country. You know, they don't have an option. That is law. You do what they tell you to, and if you don't, you die. That's basically the law there, and that's what I'm saying. You don't need to be that way. You don't have to conform to everything, but there's no reason to act out to just so you can disagree with people. No amount of disagreeing is gonna make. Oh, that guy's fucking invisible. Crazy. Is there another guy in here too? How many people are in here with me? Why is there so many people in here? Okay. There's like I require people's opinions. I can't. I feel like I need other people to approve of me to be able to do things, and that's just who I am. I like to please people, and I don't mean that in any bad way or I don't mean it in any way that could be demoralizing. I mean that as, you know, if somebody wants me to be a certain way, not to please them, but you know, to make someone happy, to bring joy to people, I would change my entire lifestyle if that's the way it needed to be. You know, because that's who I am as a person. I like to entertain. I like to help people, but unfortunately, there are people out there that refuse to be like that, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it as a person. You know, what makes you want to completely disagree with someone? Everyone's allowed their own opinion, and not having an opinion is not having a personality. Okay, because everyone has an opinion. Whether you like to admit it, on everything you have an opinion. Whether you like to voice your opinion, that's just the way. That you don't have to, and a lot of people like to be quiet about them. Like that quiet person in your classroom, he has opinions and he has thoughts, but nobody listens to him because he doesn't talk out. You know, that's who he is, and that's not bad. Another thing. See, I'm only 19 years old. This is just the way I feel about it. And another thing that kind of an example, women, and this isn't just women, this is men too, but this is just my experience with some teenage girls that I grew up with. They would act out and they would do whatever they wanted because they knew they could get away with it. You know, kind of like in class with a substitute teacher. When your teacher's gone, you act out because, you know, your teacher's gone, it's a substitute, she's not going to be there tomorrow. That's just an excuse for you to act up. You know, that's another way that you don't change. I wish I could put into words what I'm trying to say. It's kind of hard to talk about stuff like this because everyone has their own opinions, and that's good. Opinions are fantastic. Without opinions, we wouldn't be a democracy. The United States would be a terrible place to live, and people wouldn't be going out of their way to make sure their children live here, you know? And I don't mean, you know, just people from out of the country, because people from all over the country come to live here, and that's because we are a country of opinion, and we always will be. That's never going to change, because if that was to change, the world would end as you know it, because just the United States could never be anything but a smelting pot of opinions. Ooh, I got it. Ooh, I love hitting those jump shots. Oh my gosh, are we gonna lose? No. Okay. Well, the game's almost coming to an end, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of wrap up what I'm trying to say. You as a person don't need to change your entire lifestyle to please people. You don't need to, you know, let someone beat up on you because that's just who they are, okay? But you don't need to go out of your way to annoy people. You don't need. Changing is not a bad thing. No amount of change is going to ruin your life. I promise you that. But unwillingness to change is what ruins people's lives. because the kid refuses to get in the cab after drinking too much, he gets hit or gets in an accident because he wants to drive himself. That's unwilling to change. You're unwilling to listen to other people. You're unwilling to be something else because you want to be you. You need to be open to change. As a person, being open to change makes life easier. And I just feel like me as a person, getting this to y'all, maybe helping people understand that change is not a bad thing. Yeah, it's my duty to be able to help the world be a better place. Make people understand that changing does not have to hurt people. You can always change for the better. This has been Blame Steroids or Morgan. Peace out, YouTube. I love you guys.